counting down the best James Bond pre-title sequences into the top 10 now with The World Is Not Enough.
Before it was released, was there a little bit of hype around this pre-title sequence? It wasn't so much the length of it, it was more that it was being filmed in the Thames.
Yeah, people knew about it, didn't they, kind of?
Yeah.
Lots of films have been filmed in London in the last 10, 15 years or something, but at this time, there weren't loads of action sequences filmed in London.
Yeah.
And, like the Millennium Dome was a thing and everything.
Yeah.
So
underrated, though, that the Few Eyes Only pre-title sequence is in London as well.
England's status in pop culture was a little bit greater at that point, wasn't it? In terms of like pop music, football, even film. It did become a little bit, not everything had to be from America.
Well, Tony Blair and the Spice Girls.
Tony Blair.
Exactly. Spice Girls, yeah. That's what I was.
Oasis. Oasis.
David Beckham's right foot. David Beckham.
Yeah. This is possibly the most famous bit of the whole film.
The standout moment.
Yeah.
But even before we get there, we've got three other themes, you could argue, because there's arguments, isn't there? And you hear different accounts of it, that it was originally just meant to be the Bilbao, but test audiences or Michael Apted thought, no, we need a bit more. But then you've seen the script, and apparently this was always the way. So there's different accounts of it. Bilbao, it's
beautiful,
but we just get Bond in a new location straight away. And that opening shot of Brosnan with the glasses, he's looking incredible still, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Bond is the star here. We're instantly in on it. What an unbelievable guy.
Yeah. Walking down a street, Bond theme.
I wouldn't have minded if the pre-title sequence was just Bilbao. The fact that they put the London bit in the pre-title is probably the most memorable thing about World Is Not Enough, that it has that as its opening. Just a Bilbao title sequence would have been in keeping with the film in terms of the idea of Bond interrogating Lachaise, I think he's called, the Swiss banker, and all that.
I am offering you the opportunity to walk out with the money, Mr. Bond.
I'm giving you the opportunity to walk out with your life.
Looking at our present situation, strictly as a banker, I would have to say that the numbers are not on your side.
Well, perhaps you fail to take into account my hidden assets.
It's pure Purvis and Wade puns, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole thing, it's quite ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Brosnan is so good that you just about get away with it, I think.
Don't worry, I love The World Is Not Enough, John, but even as early as that first scene, you are seeing Die Another Day creeping in, really.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that reaction to Cigar Girl, like, what?
I mean, if he wasn't confident before, his confidence at the moment is absolutely through the roof. He knows that he's allowed to do whatever he wants with his face now.
Is he?
Would you like to check my figures?
Oh, I'm sure they're perfectly rounded.
Arnold's best bass lines in this pre-title sequence, when he gets the cord and he wraps it around the man to come down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh, the bass absolutely pounds. Arnold nails this.
It's a good stunt in Bilbao, isn't it? That shot, it looks so like Brosnan. I don't understand if it isn't him. When he goes off, the overhead view of it.
And tied to it, it's not just a good action set piece, but it's got the Bond element of there being some element of comedy attached to it, because obviously he ties it to the body. He ties it to that guard. And like when we watched that with Dad recently, he was, he had a little chuckle to himself watching it unfold.
Yeah.
And it's action, there's a plot going on that you're trying to figure out. But there is humour within this as well. It is very much like a mini movie. It's got all the elements in some ways, but like you say, the unconventional part is that it's long.
But what you get after is so great. You've got all the Bond characters you want. You've got Q with his fishing boat. You've got the introduction to Robert King, and it's only one scene with him.
Sir Robert King, James Bond.
The man who retrieved my money. I can't thank you enough. Excellent work.
You've got the dirty cigar scene with Moneypenny.
Oh, Moneypenny. The story of our relationship. Close, but no cigar.
Then you've got King, the money.
King, the money.
And you've got Brosnan running around with his wet face. Just unbelievable. And then you get him in the water, and everyone rightly, understandably, only ever remembers him in the water. But before that, you've got tons of stuff as well. I mean, it's just got everything. It goes into London. It goes into Canary Wharf. It goes into the East area, the East Docks.
Yeah.
It takes every day scenes of people eating food at restaurants, and it goes through them. And
It's also a bit of a Bond thing as well when people are getting splashed and when restaurants
It's
are getting
like
ripped.
Your Eyes Only,
Yeah.
you know, when Bond the ski chase goes through and on the lunch and it goes on the bench like that.
And then we've obviously also got the boat equivalent of the Man with the Golden Gun corkscrew scene.
Yeah, I hadn't realised that until I watched it recently.
It was a world record when it was done.
Yes, it's a more adult Bond film, but things like that, Cubo, kids love that. I mean,
Me Cubo.
Oh, hello.
Oh my word! Absolutely gorgeous.
Actually, does have a little mini Brosnan in there as well.
Oh, is he dripping wet? And explosions. There's a fair few explosions.
Yeah.
You know, that again will have been visible to all the public nearby in London.
Yeah.
To do it in such a public place, a well-known tourist destination, to be having explosions as big as some of the ones that you see is brilliant. So much ambition has gone in and budget.
I love the score from David Arnold going on here. I think it hits all the right beats with the tension, with dun, 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 dun. And then the minute he goes underwater, the little
Yeah.
It's hitting all the right beats.
There's one funny bit, isn't there, where it's like, boys are like, what?
Yeah.
Sonar.
Yeah.
It's when he slows down because it's extremely Bond that he uses a gadget on the boat. It's effectively sat nav, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's
And it
gone off too far,
redirects.
he's blocked off, and they think you can see it trying to find the best route through the little canals. No, it's not the river. That's why he has to go through those restaurants and all that kind of place.
I'm not saying it's deliberate, but you hear about, sat nav accidentally taking cars through rivers.
Yeah.
But here, sat nav accidentally takes a boat onto roads.
Yeah. And he has I don't know whether it's a joke. It is a joke, but beep beep, like when he's going through the restaurant.
Yeah.
As if he's got a horn, So good.
It's good stuff, that.
I mean, the way it ends is pretty spectacular. The stunts where the boat meets the shore, effectively, where the magic dome is, which bounces it crucially in the air, which means Bond has got a bit more height.
Yeah, to jump.
Then jump onto the rope.
Again, speaking of Dad laughing, I think he laughed at that as well when Bond managed to grab onto the rope.
Yeah.
He did laugh at that, but I think that's more of a James Bond, this only Bond.
Yeah, only Bond.
Yeah.
Only Bond. It finishes with, as opposed to Renard, it finishes with Cigar Girl referencing Renard, saying, "Not from him." So it still ends, it still bookends with Cigar Girl referencing Renard.
I can protect you. Do you understand? I can protect you.
Not from him.
And I think as well, because we're talking about all the amazing stuff, you have to remember that this pre-title sequence ends with a suicide.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty intense.
It is.
So, The World Is Not Enough. Cigar Girl is a character who's only in pre-title sequence.
Yeah. It's very crisp, that.
Extraordinary pre-title sequence, and one that is certainly one of the more famous, very memorable, iconic film, isn't it?
Yeah. I love it.